First time I heard a disembodied voice was someone else in the room. I was working at my boss's house packing some envelopes. Me and her, we were both waiting for my other friend to show up and help. It was about 12 p.m., middle of the day. Only us two were there in the home. Her dog started going crazy at the front door, so I think, oh, my friend's here. So I walk to the door, open, no one there. I come sit back down. About 15 seconds later, we both hear a knock at the door. I'm like, oh, she's here. Walk to the front door, open it, and again, no one was there. Now, let me tell you, if I knew this is paranormal, I probably would have never opened that door. The weird part is the dogs went crazy at first, but when the knock happened, they were completely silent and stayed back. So I come sit back down again, and about 15 more seconds pass, and we both hear, hello? In a woman's voice, muffled, almost coming from the basement door, which you pass on the way to the front door. I jerked my head around and looked at my boss and said, did you just hear that? Yep. Is anyone else here? Nope. And then my logical brain is like, okay, my friend must be here and she came in another way. And I checked my phone and she said, I'm here. So I said, oh, it's just my friend. She's here. I walk around the corner and no one is there. Open the door and she's across the street waving. I come back in and sat down and my boss just continues to stare at her computer screen, not even flinching or reacting to this. And again I say, okay, you did just hear that voice, correct? And she just says, yep, I don't want to talk about it. We are moving out soon. A few weeks later, I am working with another person who is her son's girlfriend, and I bring it up to her out of curiosity, like, hey, have you had anything happen in that house? Because I just straight up heard a disembodied voice there. And then her eyes get kind of wild and she says, oh my God, yes. When I was there, sometimes I would hear knocks, or the doors would open up on their own, or the automatic front door lock would just go clink, like someone pressed the button, and she'd walk out and the door was wide open. I asked her son about his experiences there, and essentially, he would have these extremely demonic nightmares. There was one where he found himself in a closet, but with dog legs and these weird spikes bursting out of his skin, and there was a little girl crying on the bed, luring him up to the room with a closet. Another one said he saw what appeared to be a silhouette of Jesus, and he was saying, come, follow me. And he was about to follow him until he realized the shape was complete dark. Everything was dark. And when he began to question it or go the other way, he'd wake up. Super weird. I never felt scared or off when I was there, nor during the voice. I was actually just flabbergasted, but unfortunately, the hello is seared into my memory. It was such a strange hello. Anyway, the house was new, no less than 5 years old. It was one of those cookie cutter neighborhoods built on an old oil field, I think. So that is the end of that Reddit story about the paranormal. How about you? Have you had anything similar happen to you? What did you do?